Okay, prefixes. So prefixes are what we put in front of a unit to help and explain the numerical value of that unit. So let me give you some real common prefixes that we would put in front of a unit. Kilo, which is equivalent to a value of 1,000 or 10 to the 3. Centimeters times 10 to the negative 2. And milli, which is equivalent to times 10 to the minus 3. Now there are many more prefixes, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but these are the most common that you are going to use in this class. So let's do some examples using these prefixes. Okay, so our first example is how many grams are in 5 kilograms? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the number we are given, or the value, which is 5 kilograms, or kg. We're going to put that over 1. To the right, we're going to put a set of parentheses, and inside we're going to put kg in the bottom for kilogram, and g in the top, because that's what I want grams. Now inside my parentheses, I'm going to put the number 1 in front of the unit that has the prefix. So in this case, that's in the bottom here. So I'm going to put a 1 in front of the kg because K stands for kilo. And then I'm going to look and see what is the value for kilo? And the value for kilo is 10 to the 3 or 1,000. And I'm going to put that value in front of grams. And so once I do that, now I can cancel units. So I cancel units, and now I can multiply across. So 5 multiplied by 1,000 is 5,000. Multiply the bottom, 1 times 1 is 1, and the unit I'm left with is grams. So my answer is 5,000 grams. Okay, let's do another example. And in this example, we want to know how many milliseconds are in 2.50 times 10 to the 6 kiloseconds. Now in this case, I'm going from a prefix of kiloseconds to a prefix of milliseconds. So what I want to do here is I want to convert to what I call a base unit. So I'm going to start with what I'm given, which is kiloseconds. I'm going to convert to seconds, and then I'm going to convert to milliseconds. So let's start with what I was given, which is 2.50 times 10 to the 6 kiloseconds. I'm going to put that over 1. And my first arrow here shows I'm going to have one set of parentheses here. I'll try and make this fit. And my second arrow here shows that I need another set of parentheses. Okay, now I'm ready to plug in numbers into the parentheses. So kiloseconds, I have kiloseconds. I want to cancel those out. Kiloseconds. And I want to convert to seconds, so I'll put a second here. And then I want to convert seconds to milliseconds. Now, on my first set of parentheses, I want to find the unit that has a prefix, and that happens to be in the denominator here. So I'm going to put a 1 in front of kiloseconds. And then when I look at the previous part of this lesson, I remember that kilo is equivalent to 1,000, so I'll put that in the top of my fraction. Now, my next set of parentheses, I'm looking for the unit with the prefix, and this is in the top or the numerator of the fraction for milliseconds. I'm going to put a 1 there. And if I look back for my definition of milli, I see that that's equivalent to times 10 to the minus 3, or 1 times 10 to the minus 3, and so I'll be putting that in front of seconds. Now I'm going to go ahead and cancel units, so the kiloseconds cancels, the seconds cancel, and I am left with the unit of milliseconds, which is what I want. And now let's go ahead and do the math. So we're going to multiply the top of these fractions, and then we're going to multiply the bottom. So multiplying the top, I'm going to get 2.50 times 10 to the, let's say, 6 plus 1,000, let's say plus 3. And we're going to divide that by 1 times 10 to the minus 3. So continuing this out, I'm going to get 2.50 times 10 to the 9 minus a negative 3 milliseconds. And that's equivalent to 2.50 times 10 to the 12 milliseconds. Okay, let's do another example. This is example 3. And in this problem, I want to know how many centimeters are in 2,657 millimeters. Once we get our answer, we want to write our answer in with the proper prefix, in scientific notation, and in 3 significant figures. So first thing I notice is both of my answers have a prefix. So I'm going to go from millimeters to my base unit of meters, and then convert to centimeters. So starting with millimeters, or what I'm given, that's 2,657 millimeters. I'm going to put that over 1. My first arrow here says I need a set of parentheses, and I have a second arrow here, so I need another set of parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and put millimeter in the bottom here, meter in the top, meter in the bottom, centimeter in the top. And I want to go ahead and put the number 1 in front of my units with the prefix. So my first set of parentheses, I'm going to put a 1 here. In my second set of parentheses, I'm going to put a 1 there. In my first set of parentheses, milli is equivalent to 1 times 10 to the minus 3 meters. In my second set of parentheses, centi is equivalent to 1 times 10 to the minus 2. Now I can go ahead and cancel out units, so millimeters cancel with millimeters, meters cancel with meters. I am left with centimeters, which is what I want. And now I'm going to go ahead and multiply the top and then multiply the bottom. So multiplying the top, I get 2,657 times 10 to the minus 3, here's my centimeters, all over the bottom of 1 times 10 to the minus 2. Now that's the same thing as 2,657 times 10 to the negative 3 minus a negative 2. So that's 2,657 times 10 to the minus 1 centimeters. Now all I need to do is write this in scientific notation, which would be 2.657 times 10. I still need that minus 1 in there. And then I have to look at this one here and say, what do I have to do to this one to make it look like the one above it? And I need to move the decimal to the right, so that's a plus, 3 times. So when I look at this, it's going to be 2.657 times 10 to the 2 centimeters. And lastly, I want to convert to 3 sig figs, so I need to round. That's 2.66 times 10 to the 2 centimeters, and that is our answer. Here are some other prefixes, some we've talked about and some new ones. Okay, so in this practice you want to write your answers with the proper prefix in scientific notation and round all your answers to 3 significant figures. Again, this will be due the next time I see you, and I'll also be writing down the answers for you. Have fun.
One is like 99. She's like, shh.